Welcome back, everybody. My name is Raul, and I am
the Wolf Counselor,
coming to you with another episode of Addiction and Divine Intervention, Undisputable God Moments in My Career as a Substance Abuse Professional. Gentleman walks into my office asking for help. I begin the biopsychosocial spiritual assessment. Why would you like help now? And he says to me, I'm trying to get a certain treatment for hepatitis C, and I cannot receive it unless I am clean and sober. He has been using heroin for a number of years. The only work skills that he could talk about were drug dealing skills. He knew how to use a scale. He knew what kilos were, kilograms, grams, and ounces, but he had no other set of skills that he could use in a job in the workforce today. He continues on to say that he is homeless, he has nowhere to go. As we're having this initial appointment, I get that compelling feeling that I get, and I proceed to ask him, do you know anyone, or do you have family or somebody that goes to church? And he says, no, I'm pretty much estranged from my family. I haven't seen them in many years. They kind of cut me off, and I stayed away from them since my addiction started taking over. And he responds with, why do you ask? And I say, well, I don't normally do this, but I get this compelling that people are praying for you. In fact, if I'm honest, I remember you saying, I feel the prayer of saints in your life. I don't normally step out this way and just tell people what I'm sensing, but I have this strong sense I cannot ignore. And he says, no, I don't know anybody. And here I'm having doubts, thinking maybe I was feeling something different and I got really excited over nothing, right? I tell him, come back tomorrow. We'll talk about putting you into some type of program. He returns back to the following day and he says to me, hey, do you remember when you asked me about if I knew anybody that went to church? I said, yeah, I remember that. And he says, you're not going to believe this, but last night, shortly after leaving your office, I got a call from my sister that I haven't spoken to in several years. I still have no idea how she got a hold of me. But we began to talk, and she said to me that Sunday she was in an ordinary church service. There was a guest speaker, and the speaker had asked people if they were interested in having prayer for someone they knew or a family member for any reason. He says, my sister raised her hand and said, I have a brother who's been an addict his whole life. He's nearly 60 years old. He has a lot of legal troubles, a lot of dysfunctional issues, right? Many kids from many baby mamas. And she says, I would like prayer for him. And the story goes that she walked up to the front of the church and many people reached to her. And those that could touch her, touched her. Those that couldn't weren't able to, but they extended their hands towards her and they began to pray for this guy sitting in my office. And his eyes were wide open and I'm thinking, whoa, that's what I was sensing. That's what I was feeling, right? So I respond to him with, God has a plan for you. I don't know what that plan is. And I said, in fact, here, I don't know that you're really going to benefit from what I have to offer here. This is not a full-on, inpatient or residential program. This is kind of a stop and go sort of play. But I said to him, whatever it is God has planned for you, it's huge. I have no idea what it is. The following morning, he comes back to the clinic and he's, knocking at my door. Can I talk to you for a moment? And his face he looked frightened. You can tell something's up. I'm thinking in my head, oh snap. He had a letter in his hand and he handed it to me. He says, I need you to read this. If you would have seen the face, his expressions, you would have thought, this is it. This letter probably contains the worst news that you can give to a person that's done years of drug abuse to their body. So I open up the letter and I begin to read it. And it reads something like, Mr. Smith, we've been running your tests on a weekly basis. 2 weeks ago, you were positive for the hepatitis C virus, but your lab results from this Monday have come back negative. We ran it multiple times and came to the same conclusion. We are writing this letter to deny your treatment for hepatitis C because you have no hepatitis C in your body. Amazing. I was as shocked as he was. We're both staring at each other. And I'm telling him again what I told him the day before. Dude, God has a plan for you. I don't know what it is, but it's beyond me. My resources are limited, but you definitely have, some good vibes coming your way. You definitely have people that are praying for you. And in fact, when he showed up that day, he came to tell me that he had found another program, faith-based program out in the community. They offered him a little side gig. They offered him a bed, and it's a long-term facility. And that was so long. That's as much as work that we were able to do with each other. It was 3 days of amazing experiences for him, for me as well. And I was just lucky to be able to witness that. People say, oh man, you've got this thing. I don't have anything, okay, besides I'm just making myself available for those kind of experiences. I never know when these things are going to happen. And there are many takeaways from this situation, right? If you go back into history and you see Bill W., he didn't write the 12 steps until after he had his divine intervention. This guy had his divine intervention. I had my divine intervention. I'll tell you about it in another video. But there's no rule that says you cannot start your recovery, your sobriety process with this kind of experience. First thing you have to do is you have to be open. It's not going to happen if you're expecting the worst things to happen. But in my mind, I was struggling with my ability to help this person when all reality was pointing towards someone that had more than what I was capable of providing. And in this case, it was an undeniable God encounter. What happened to this gentleman? I have no idea. I haven't seen him since. I haven't heard from him. I don't know that I ever will. But in any case, those are the encounters and the experiences that remind me that miracles are possible no matter where you are, no matter what day of the week it is. This happened for this man the day after his family in that church prayed for him. They weren't even in his reach. They just sent some prayers up there and the answer came down here. That is amazing. So I want to encourage everybody listening to this, don't lose faith in prayers. One of the parts that unfortunately many programs and clinics fail to acknowledge is the spiritual impact of addiction. If you get a chance, go online, go on the search engine and type out the American Society of Addiction Medicine or asam.org and read the definition to addiction. And there's a strong piece down there, a small piece, but it's a strong piece that says that this is a biopsychosocial spiritual disease. And the way it distorts and impacts our spirituality is that it impairs our views and our beliefs about God and who He is. There are many distortions that change our perceptions had we been in our right mind, viewing things for what they are. There you have it, Addiction and Divine Intervention, episode 2. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to like this, share what somebody you believe will benefit from hearing this. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the little bell for notifications on videos just like this one. If you're new to this Facebook page, don't forget to like it. I would love to hear your comments. What did you get out of this story? Are you one of those that had divine encounter, divine intervention, and then was able to stay clean and sober? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, my name is Raul, and I am
the Wolf Counselor.